At the start of the year, a trailer for Kirby and the Forgotten Land dropped and blessed the world with the phenomenon of Kirby. I immediately jumped on this adorable automobile and designed a paper toy of mouthful mode Kirby, and it was a pretty big hit. It was an absolute pleasure to design, everyone seemed to like it, and it was just the kind of no pressure project I needed to push me out of my creative block at the time. So when our precious pink friend provided us with yet another release, Kirby's Dream Buffet, you know I had to turn it into a quick little paper toy. Kirby's Dream Buffet looks to be a 4-player competitive racing game in which you and 3 friends battle it out across a super-sized spread, picking up peckish power-ups that turn you into tasty treats as you stuff your little mouth with strawberries to grow in size, becoming the chubbiest Kirby to take home the prize. That kind of did a rhyme. Ooh. I was originally going to make a toy of one of the tasty power-ups like this Kirby cupcake, but we haven't really got a good look at them just yet. Like, we got a very quick look in the trailer at this cupcake and chocolate or jelly maybe mode, not much else. So instead I set my hungry eyes on this absolute unit and decided on making a paper toy of chubby Kirby. Kirby? More like Kirby. So I'm going to go over the process piece by piece and show off the different prototypes I made along the way. I started off the design process by grabbing Kirby's cute little face from the trailer and moving things around to make it face forwards. The shape I went with is a truncated dodecahedron, which basically just means a dodecahedron, which is a 12-sided shape made up of pentagons with the corners cut off to make the overall shape more rounded. I made the side length of the triangular truncations the same length as the remaining sections on the pentagons, leaving me with a bunch of perfect decagons, which made the overall shape look more rounded. I added a fair amount of shading to the texture of this model to try and make the overall toy look a little more rounded and solid by having it be very light on the top and darker towards the bottom. This gives the final toy a more weighty look than it would if it was just a plain block colour, relying on the natural shadows cast by the shape. There wasn't a good look at the medal you get for winning in the trailer, so I had to draw a new graphic by hand, but due to the repetitive nature of the ribbon it came together really quickly. At this stage I put together my first prototype, but I didn't really like it. Oh no. The shape was nice, but it was really awkward to put together. It had these weird little half faces for the triangular sections, which worked out fine in my head but ended up super tiny and difficult to glue together. It also had these little 3D arms, which needed a bunch of teeny tiny tabs, which were really yucky. So I went back in and completely rearranged the entire template, converting the texture I'd already made into smart objects so I could change what all of the faces were in relation to each other without having to redraw too many of these graphics. Now the design was 15% larger, used less tabs, and it was much less awkward to put together. It's wild what a difference something as simple as a new layout can do. I decided to remove the 3D arms in place of little cutout ones because I thought the older ones brought too much focus to them on the final design, and I want the focal point to be the medal on Kirby's chest instead. As an added bonus, this new layout meant that I could make the top of the medal stick out a little bit from the rest of the design. After that I made some slight changes to the shading, making it just a little bit more subtle because I felt like it was a little overbearing and washed out the top of the design. After that I numbered all the tabs and I was done. Look at this pink precious boy. What a cutie pie. Oh. Why did I make that noise? How to build a model. I start by cutting out the template along the solid cut lines, using a craft knife for the smaller and harder to reach areas. I'm building this model on some super cheap 200 GSM A4 cardstock that I got from Poundland. I then score along the fold lines by lightly pressing them with a craft knife. This will give me some nice, clean and accurate folds, which is what I do next, following the key on the bottom of the page. Tab 1 glues to the back of the model. Tab 2 glues to the opposite side of the back face. Tabs 3 and 4 glue to the inside of the triangular sections on the top of the head. Tabs 5 and 6 glue down after these little fold inside tabs are tucked away, helping them lock in place. Similarly, tabs 8 and 9 glue inside the sides of Kirby, locking these fold inside sections inside. Tabs 9 and 10 glue around the sides of the model towards the front section, with tabs 11 and 12 gluing down the front of Kirby into place. Tab 13 folds across and glues to the opposite side of the front. With that, the main body of chubby Kirby is complete. What a chunky fella. Now we build the feet using tabs 14 and 15 to build Kirby's right foot, and slotting it into place using tabs 16 and 17. Repeating these steps with tabs 18 and 19 to build Kirby's left foot, slotting it into place with tabs 20 and 21 to complete the papercraft. What a precious boy. I'll kiss him on the lips. The toy uses a truncated dodecahedron to give it a nice round shape, despite featuring 0 actual curved elements, and is built using only 21 tabs. You'll notice that those truncations, the parts that have been cut off of the dodecahedron, don't carry on across the entire template. At the back, there's an even bigger chunk cut out of the shape. So what's up with that? Well, part of shape optimization is figuring out where the focal point of the model is, making that the most detailed section, both to draw the builder's eye towards it, but also so you can make the areas where there's less focus, like the back or bottom, less detailed. If you're building this Kirby toy, you're probably going to face it facing towards the room, looking at you, which means we can cut a few corners at the back of the model by, ironically, not cutting the corners off. This larger chunk cut off the back both allows the back section of the template to be centered on the page, allowing the overall design to be bigger, and also means that the bottom half of Kirby is slightly bigger than the top, giving it a sense of weight, like how a water balloon bows out at the bottom. Let's take a closer look at some of the paper engineering in this model. Overall, this papercraft is very simple and isn't hiding many clever tricks, but one area it excels in is tab optimization. It skips over faces and connections that could be held in place with a tab to reduce the number needed. For example, on the back here, instead of connecting every face with its own individual tab, I've skipped over faces to glue down tab 1, because I know that the tension will hold these faces together without support. I continue this technique across the rest of the model, skipping face connections where possible and using these fold inside sections to help lock faces together without actually needing to be glued in place. In total, the template has 6 of these fold inside pieces, each one wrapping around the tab next to it to hold everything snugly in place and help hide any unsightly gaps that could form in the spaces between faces. Spaces between. Oh, I can't do the word. If every face on Kirby's body was held together with a tab, we'd be left with an eye-watering 33 tabs. But by skipping faces that are held together with tension and locking other faces with parts that fold inside, we bring that number down to a respectable 13. That means that with just a little template optimization, we've reduced the tab count by 20, a reduction of over half. Shout out to all my tab nerds out there, all 3 of you going, wow, tab knowledge. You want to know the big paper engineering secret hidden in Kirby's little feet? Well, there isn't one, silly. They're just simple little boxes that slot into his tummy holes. I mean, what were you expecting? Come on. Not everything needs a fancy gimmick to hold it together. Sometimes a cute little toy is all it needs to be. Overall, I'm really pleased with how this precocious pink pal turned out. It was an absolute blast to design and the project came together really quickly. It's left me wanting to tackle some other Kirby characters, so if you have any in mind, let me know. So that's my Kirby's Dream Buffet paper toy. In retrospect, I should have also designed a little scale for him to sit on, but maybe I'll have time to make one of those in the future. I hope you enjoyed this video exploring the design process and paper engineering involved in this project as much as I enjoyed making it. You can download this Kirby paper toy along with my Kirby and the Forgotten Lands paper toy for free from folduptoys.com. If you have any questions, comments or queries, you can leave them in the comments section or send them to me on the Fold Up Toys website on the contact page, and I'll do my best to answer them when I see them. Have a nice day, don't stop folding, and remember, life's a little better when you're a little more Kirby.